Alien franchise first began through horror and action genre, saturated by science and fiction. And still, after decades, we all remember a famous Ellen Ripley and how she saved human species through that accidental alien invasion. And now, Alien Earth TV show is a real game changer in this franchise and sci-fi genre. In other movies and TV shows, they were human, and their spaceships invaded into their space, and all conflicts were happening into the space, their planets and spaceships. This time, these alien creatures have been transferred to planet Earth by a spaceship which being under control of some higher-ups through a rare accident. And now, although they've been captured into a scientific lab, but these different alien species have become a real threat to the planet Earth. And this time, it's not only the matter of Xenomorph and its eggs, but other different species which now seem to be familiar to the human's body as a host, and who knows what happens if they keep spreading themselves through different human beings like a parasite. And in between, Noah Hawley, as a creator of the show, has created a parallel plot attached within the story, not only adding more tension and mystery to the show, but as a main conflict maker, which is the Project Prodigy contains transferring children into a new adult body with powerful abilities like soldiers as next generation of intelligent human beings. In this review, I'm going to have a quick glimpse on Prodigy Project and these soldiers as I'm introducing different alien races and will mainly focus on T-Ocellus, the eye creature, and how it works, as the only alien creature who could challenge the Xenomorph and seemed to be able to possess it as it did with human hostages. First, and before we begin, tap the screen and like the video and share it to your friends and communities who may be interested in alien stuff and science fiction. Subscribe to my channel to support me, and don't forget to hit that bell and turn the notification bell on to be informed of all of my videos, reviews and breakdowns as I uploaded them. Let's jump into our discussion. In all first 5 episodes, there is an intense crosscut between two different folds of spaceship and the Earth, Prodigy Island, called Neverland, where we met Marcy Windy for the first time. She is looking into a lonely scorpion lurking into the glass, and this is Kirsch we see next to her, who they both discuss on this scorpion's fate. And at the end of the scene, Marcy leaves the scene as she asks Kirsch not to kill the scorpion. And in this very beginning short scene, we got all concepts on Wendy's destiny as well, on which side she will stand and protect as her friends after all. And creator uses this scorpion, which has similarities to the alien Xenomorph we will meet later. The show begins from the spaceship where those creatures been captured, exactly from the sky to the scorpion glass. The spaceship hits the Earth, to the city exactly where Hermit, Windy's brother, works. As Windy is still thinking of him and concerning about him, becomes the volunteer to save survivors of the disaster with other lost kids. And Windy's powerful emotions causing the first inner conflict in the show. As Boy Cavalier believes Wendy shouldn't remember her past life memories and emotions. But as it seems, Wendy is still thinking of her brother and chasing him. And the moment she finds him in danger, she decides to go out there and save him. She saves his brother, and both being hurt by the same Xenomorph. And exactly after that moment, as Wendy wakes up again, she can hear a weird noise in her head, leading her towards the lab where Kirsch and her prodigy fellows are doing experiments on the creature they pulled out of Xenomorph's egg, and again she collapses. We saw they removed one of her brother Hermit's lungs and kept into the glass for the lot of Xenomorph to feed. Next time, Wendy approaches towards the lab, and as she has her eyes gaze into the glass to her brother's liver, the creature explodes the glass and jumps out to attack Wendy. But Wendy begins to make noises, and it seems she's talking to the baby Xenomorph. At the end, it shows through a light touch and cuddle that they have become friends. They are talking each other and make a connection. They are understanding each other, feel each other emotions, and now they are friends. We all know now Xenomorph is a very dangerous creature which is killing and ripping people along. And now this is Wendy connecting them through her emotions. But how this is possible? But Xenomorphs and their eggs are not the only creatures in this show. Between all these alien species, we have been introduced to the other alien creatures like Plumcare, which we still don't know about. And there is another creature which is the most fascinating creature type in between T-Ocellus, the eyeball-like creature, which attacks the victim in the eye, craves the eyeball empty, and sits inside the eye socket and connects directly to the brain and tries to control them. We saw Ocellus for the first time after the first incident at the wrecked spaceship when it was looking towards Prodigy members through a cat's eyeball. Next, we saw Ocellus attacks Nibs as she tries to control it and removed it from her fingers. Ocellus' pipes had attached not only to all her finger points, but one of them had been attached to her cheek. After that incident, she began to act weird. And after a while, she was claiming that she was pregnant to Sylvia, Wendy's mother, who is a scientist of Prodigy Project, who believes that this is not possible when she hadn't had any initiations with a man. But she's become more stronger and she believes she's pregnant, as she seems not. Obviously, she has changed, but what has happened to her? We are still thinking about this matter, as in 5th episode, there is a flashback to the spaceship we already saw crashed on the Earth, only to become more familiar to how this alien species invaded the spaceship based on a pre-planned crash exactly where the Lost Island, Neverland exists, where the Boy Cavalier's labs were located. In between, we still become familiar with T-Ocellus and its activities. We see Ocellus as an alien creature in a glass, like the other alien species, and there is Dr. Shibozo experiencing on them, has friendly interactions with the Ocellus behind the glass. She's working with the Xenomorph larva, which runs out of his glass tank and spreads its larvae through the bottle which Shibozo is drinking. Ocellus tries to warn her but couldn't. T-Ocellus leaves its glass storage to stop that Xenomorph larva. It seems Ocellus is concerned about Shibozo as friend. Also, we saw Shibozo was drinking from that bottle and she was not affected. Instead, it was the kid who drank water from her bottle, and a while after, he bleeded all his stomach out, losing blood, obviously affected by that Xenomorph larva. As we saw, Shibozo didn't. He was a man, but Shibozo was a woman. Also, we shouldn't forget that we don't know about this alien species' sexuality. Based on everything we saw in this TV show and the other movies in this alien franchise, as alien blood is acid, it seems they are using humans' stomach as a suitable habitat to spawning and grow. But still, we don't have any strong alibi. continue watching, we saw Shibozo and the doctor dying after the gas released out of the kid's body when the surgery, as Xenomorph was committing terrors in the other side of the spaceship. And it was a conflict of survival. But the last battle is happening between Shamil, the engine man, who now has the Ocelus as one of his eyes, which means he's under the control of T-Ocellus, and also our very famous and dreadful Xenomorph. And this is the first time we see Ocellus has this ability to turn its host into a walking corpse creature, even more powerful and intelligent than Xenomorph. Zaverny, the spaceship captain, is looking at the scene shocked as we do. This is Shamil being controlled by the Ocellus eye, beating the hell out of Xenomorph as tries to possess its eyeball, and it does the same towards other victims. And it seems Ocellus is trying to protect Zaverny as she tries to run and save herself from Xenomorph. Of course, Zaverny saves herself from this attack. But at the end, this is Moro who has locked the door and doesn't let her in and lets the Xenomorph smashes her into pieces. The moment of crash, Zaverny was not alive. As we saw at the beginning, they woke up in the opposite order of their death, as barefoot smiling boy Cavalier is observing them with other Prodigy members. We also noticed that Shibozo has a vision of them in blood, and this is Ocellus ripping someone's face, maybe refers to her own death. We saw her in the lab with those species playing song for them as the others going to sleep having visions on their own deaths. And this is light music in the background, all about emotional connections. And now, after everything we know about T-Ocellus, how we can discuss on Nibs and her feeling of pregnancy. As we discussed before, she never had experienced sexual intimacy, and her being pregnant is impossible. After all we saw during these 5 episodes, and after what we saw happen to Wendy and the baby Xenomorph, I have this idea that Nibs thinks she's pregnant only because she has connected to T-Ocellus after their first encounter in the broken spaceship, and mostly after she thought her eyeball using one of her fingers pitched out by Ocellus pipes before. Now it seems Ocellus is trying to connect to Nibs through her eyes and seems trying to show her something. Maybe about what has happened back in the spaceship caused to a pregnant woman, or maybe its own pregnancy when humans captured Ocellus. Now after that finger eye contact, Nibs seems to be not herself anymore. It seems to be another person. Now she is Ocellus, or someone else, a pregnant one who Ocellus was already had access to her mind through her eye. It may we see Nibs being pregnant in reality, maybe with an alien child, as we saw happened in the first Alien movie created by Ridley Scott. But this pregnancy in my idea is something more than that. It's an intelligent connection to another soul through body, and it's all about emotional entanglement they have created with human races. As T-Ocellus is moving from an eyeball to another, transferring emotions from a race and a species to another, and as these alien creature species are intelligent creatures, of course, their first act of making a connection or contact is from their connectivity to the brain. We already saw that beetle-like creatures drilling inside their victims' brains, and maybe they are hacking their victim host identity. And there we go now. And Nibs acts as she's pregnant because her connected to the T-Ocellus. Also, we see a type of this connection between Moro and Slightly. We know Moro is a cyborg and he's trying to connect to Slightly through his most weakest points through the mind. as Morrow is using scarcity tactics to make him kill another mate of him or betray them. Boy Cavalier is arguing that he likes to talk with someone smarter than him. But if he only has designed these synthetic bodies not only to create new human-like generation, but to let them connect to other beings like these alien species and mix up with them to turn into a new generation mixed up with human race, who is not only physically powerful, but mentally being more genuine. As it seems, there are still too many secrets on this level, and I'm looking forward the rest of the season to see how they are going to expand this concept. What do you think about that? Of course, this is a conflict of survival. But what lies beyond all of that? This show has turned very amazing and well produced, and I can't wait till the next episode arrives. This is Ellen the Marvelous, the movie Gangstar, and in my next reviews I'm going to discuss more on this show and the other movies of this franchise. Press the like button and like the video. Share it to your friends and communities. Subscribe to my channel to support my channel, and don't forget to push the notification bell to be informed of all of my videos, reviews and breakdowns as I uploaded them. For now, love and light in peace.